Welcome. My name's Randall Hilton. I'm also known as Not Just a Bus Driver. And so this is step one in my video series on how that you can start an online business and what you need to do. So if you like this, please hit like or subscribe. Also subscribe to my channels. And if you are interested too, you can email me. I'll have that link or that in the video here later on. One of the first things that I wanted to talk about is that when I was looking at a business, these things were like 2, 3, 4 steps down the road. And so it would have been easier if I had already done this in the beginning. And one of those is to come up with a business name. So if you're going to start a business, any business, it's a good idea to figure out a name. And then you can go online and you can do searches and see if that business is, that name is being used. Especially one of the best ways to do that is to get a domain name with that. And so you can go to a couple of domain sites that sell those, G Suite, and also the domain site of GoDaddy.com. There's others. You can Google it and look. But anyway, you come up with the domain name. Now, what I did is I wanted to brand my name. And so I have randallhilton.com. And so what you want to do, what I've learned, is that you want to make sure you get a .com, not .net, .org, whatever. And so we'll explain that later, but it's very important you try to get a .com name. And so anyway, a lot of times you can find it if you're using your name. Usually it's not taken. And there's some sites that I've seen as low as $7.99, $9.99, $12.99, even if it's $20, and that's for a year. That's not a bad price. So again, what you're doing with that is you're going to brand you're going to be your brand, and you want that brand to be well known. So whatever name you come up with, that's the name you want to stick with. And you want to come up with a generic, some type of a generic name, so that you can, if you have other businesses, everything can be tied to that. Also, as you get going, it's really important that you look into becoming incorporated or getting an LLC. And again, that we'll talk about that later. But those are things that you want to start out with. The biggest thing is get a business name. Start with that. Then figure out what you want to do online. See, there's multiple platforms online. I learned this as I was looking through it. The digital platforms, there's like 11 different types of digital platforms. There's e-commerce, affiliate marketing in a lot of those different areas. And then if you just want to do direct selling, that's available too. I have a lot of history in direct sales. I mean, I go back to when I was a teenager. And, you know, one of the drawbacks for that, and I'm not going to knock any organization or program, but I personally don't like selling to my family and friends and going out and just kind of beating the streets and the neighborhoods to try to sell different products. So, and I've sold it all. I mean, I've done everything from vitamins, water filtration systems, you name it. And a lot of the companies that unfortunately that I was involved with later became companies that weren't too reputable. So you got to be careful out there too. So do your research, Google it if you see a company and whatever. And so what I'm going to do too is I'm going to put a list together of a lot of these different companies. And so you can email me for that list. And then that way it'll save you a lot of time in doing research. So again, picking the platform that you want to do. And what I'd recommend is don't do a lot of multiple things. A lot of people get into, they're doing e-commerce, they're doing affiliate marketing, you know, they're doing digital sales, you know, and then they're using all these different social media platforms. And personally, I found, especially since I've got another job, I didn't have time for all that. So pick one thing and focus on that. And then that will help you to determine what your goals are within that one thing that you pick, whether it's e-commerce or whether it's affiliate marketing or whatever. Is then you also want to figure a niche that will work for that. And so with me, I'm not in those younger years, and so for me to go out on a social media platform and try to go after the younger, the teenage generation, even the millennials, that's probably not my niche. But for you, pick which niche works for you. See, and it can be a lot of different things. It doesn't have to be age category. It can be in design, fashion, uh, a lot of different things, different hobbies, things like that. So kind of pick an area that you want to focus on, maybe something that's your passion. And if it's your passion, that's even greater for that. So again, whatever direction you go, you want to pick that and you focus on that. And now what you want to do is find out what tools are out there or what programs are out there that can help you to get started. So if you're looking at e-commerce, there's a lot of different ways you can go with that. There's programs out there and that you can build your website through those companies like Shopify. Etsy lets you pretty much put together your own site. Amazon now has a program where you can basically, if you have put together a web page, whatever, that you can do drop shipping. Walmart, another one, is a one. So there's a lot of different companies or well-known names that do affiliate marketing, and you can do e-commerce. Now, let me tell you what I found when I did research and looked into that is, for one, is there's a lot of requirements. When you start looking up what Amazon requires of you to be a marketer, affiliate marketer through them, they require you to have something already set up, a social media presence, a web page, activity to that web page. They just want to make sure that you're not a fly-by-night and they're not putting effort and time into you, and you don't know where you're going with it. So that's another thing. If you do want to go in that direction, is to focus on getting a web presence or a social media presence. So if you don't have Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of these different social media platforms, YouTube, like this that you're watching, go ahead and set those up. Now, here's another tip, something that I didn't know as I got started, because I thought, oh, wow, I get into Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, and it's going to cost me to set up a business page with that. Well, guess what? If you already have a site, if you have an Instagram account, all you have to do is go in and under settings, and you can add a business account, and it doesn't cost you a dime. So you can do that with all of those different social media platforms. And especially what we would really recommend is you get Facebook. Facebook is probably one of your best tools if you're going to do this for the long haul and you're going to sell your product or market your product through that. Is getting a relationship built up with Facebook is very important. And then once you do establish those social media sites, and I would recommend doing this right now if you haven't got this set up, is if you get all these different platforms, your social media sites, even though you're going to focus on one area of marketing, it's okay to get set up on these different social media platforms. So get those accounts set up, or if you have them already, then add add a business to that. Once you get your business name, and so you'll notice on mine that I have not just a bus driver, so that's one brand that I go with, but my email and my website is randallhilton.com. So those are things that what I would say to get started with and to help you with. I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time going into a whole bunch of other things because you're gonna try to be wrapping your head around some of these things and getting started. But again, email me and I will get you a list of these different sites and different companies and different programs so that you can kind of focus on which way you're going to go. But one of the things is I'm going to kind of be swaying you to where I think is the best platforms and the best program to go for. And I'm going to throw something out there right now. We'll talk about this in part 2, is high ticket sales. What I mean by that is when you get commissions on things, what sounds better to you? Getting a 30% commission on $10, so that's basically $3, right? Or 30% on $4,000 or $5,000, even $2,000. If a higher ticket item, 30% of $5,000 is $1,500. But there are some products out there that you can get on with that they have those higher ticket prices. And so what you may start out with is a smaller priced item, and you get that commission, but they have what's called an upsell. And so that upsell would be a higher priced item, and you'll get that commission, might be another $1,000 on that, $4 or $5, $6, $7 or whatever that you start with. So think about that, be a higher ticket item, because that might help you kind of decide which way to go. To be honest with you, that's not where I started. It took some, how would you say, not hard knocks to figure out that the direction I was going was not so much spinning my wheels, but it was going to take me a lot longer to get to where I wanted to be. So again, whatever you want to do, the key and the focus to it is just get started. That's what I said in the last video. And so what I want to help you do is to do that. So focus on those things, and we'll talk to you again in part 2. But be safe, enjoy what you're doing. And I have a motto: if you're happy, you're successful. So if you're not happy, do something different. But if you're happy, be successful at it. Work hard at it. And that's another thing, is with this business, I'm not going to blow smoke. It's not easy. There's no business out there that you start is just going to roll out the red carpet for you, and you're just going to roll right into it, and it's going to be all set out for you. All of these programs that I'm talking about require effort and work and diligence. And they also are not get-rich-quick schemes. Your direct marketing programs out there, a lot of them are flashing checks and things like that, and they're saying, hey, within a short time, you're going to be seeing these checks. Well, the statistics show that 3% of the people that are involved in those programs get any money at all, and maybe 1% or less are making those big checks. And a lot of them got to that point by hard work. So, don't let anybody fool you that anything you're looking at requires work. And if you're not willing to put the time and the effort into it, then basically you're wasting your time watching this. But I don't think so. I think that you're motivated, or you wouldn't be here. So again, until next time, this is Randall Hilton. Like the video and subscribe.